What record should we be listening to, brother?
So today I want to talk about what I think is probably the most prolific international resistance song, at least in the last 75 years. It's called Bella Ciao. So the record I'm holding up is from an Italian folk troupe. And it's been, at least I've seen it more worldwide in my lifetime than anything else. It's been a folk anthem of the left, at least since the 40s when it was rewritten and emerged in Italian resistance movements to fascism. And so in particular, around, from 1943 to 1945 in resistance to both Mussolini and German occupying soldiers. And it's since then been incorporated to movements across the globe. My first memory, or at least my strongest first memory of it, was around 2005. At the time, I don't know if it still exists. The Zapatistas had a language school that was part of this international solidarity project, and people from all over the world would come and learn Spanish. And I was lucky enough to be a part of that. And in the evenings we would sing that song. And it was so inspiring. There's the first night, actually, we did a go around and they asked people from different countries to sing a song that represented their generation from their country. And it was the very first night, and there was only two other people from the US there, and we hadn't spoken before. And it was when it came to us, we looked at it and we were like, we have no idea what to sing. Like everyone else. Yeah, well, we sang. So everyone else was singing these beautiful folk songs. And then this woman just started to go. And from the first intonation of the first syllable, we all joined in. She was like, in West Philadelphia, born and raised.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Marcos was not entertained. No, I'm just kidding. He wasn't there. It was just Spanish teachers. But anyway.
Subcommandante was there. Just
he was like, nah,
yeah,
I don't like the Fresh Prince. But then I got to see this sung all around the world. So, at every mobilization at the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, for example, the Philippines brought these huge delegations of farm workers, of fishermen and fisherwomen, and they would always anchor the street mobilizations, and they would sing this song in Tagalog. And it was so powerful with the pounding drums. And in Bangkok, got to see tuk-tuk drivers blockading roads singing it in Thai. There was I'll share one other example. In 2013, I was part of putting together this global youth climate summit thing in Istanbul. And it happened to be at the same time as the Gezi uprising, which was when they were trying to basically destroy this park, and it turned into this pro-democracy movement against Erdogan. And because there were so many of us who were direct action practitioners there, we were doing all of these exchanges in the park, and we were doing direct action trainings. And there was this assembly of 2,000 people singing Bella Ciao, both in Turkish and Italian. And it was at that moment that the police came in their riot gear and started throwing tear gas canisters. And I remember just running through the streets of Taksim with all of this tear gas around right after that song. So it's very strong in my heart. And, other examples around the world is seeing it in the LA Now protests against Bolsonaro, sung in Portuguese. It's in left-wing soccer chants all across the UK.
It was played in I loved Two Popes on Netflix. I actually really liked that movie. This is a movie rec, and he played it in the soundtrack. And that director is definitely is pretty politically oriented, but it was a subtle nod to some of the points that he was putting forward about Latin America. Yeah.
Dope. Yeah, it's just recognized worldwide and sung in many languages, though often not English. Although, who does a great English kind of reinterpretation of it is Chumbawamba, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Send that to me at some point.
Yeah, despite their kind of embarrassing hit, they're a prolific anarchist pop band that has actually done a lot of interesting work. But anyway, Joe, I'll just give a little quick history of it, which is that it actually started in the 19th century. It originally had slightly different lyrics and was sung by women in northern Italy who were working in the rice fields under just egregious conditions. They were called the Madrina women. And So the word Bella Ciao means goodbye, beautiful. And the song was about dreaming of freedom. And so the song is about being like engulfed by mosquitoes, working yourself to the bone in bare feet, looking up and seeing an overseer with his cane. And it was sung in like rebellion after riot. Eventually, they won their rights through part of broader labor struggles in the 20th century. But it's really a song. That version of the song is a shift out of victimhood into agency. So in Wildfire we say that agency starts with identifying choices that you didn't realize that you had, even within the existing power relations, right? So you don't need your oppressor to change anything. What are the choices that I didn't realize I had? And then feeling the capacity to make that choice. And this is what a lot of this music does, is it helps us feel the capacity to make a new choice. And that version of the song ends with the lyric, but the day will come when all of us will work in freedom. And so then it was adopted and rewritten in the Italian resistance, and became about the invader. It's a song about partisans rising up against German soldiers, basically. And in that case, the words Bella Ciao, goodbye, beautiful, kind of refers to a beautiful death. So the lyrics are translated to this, it translates to, one morning I awakened and I found the invader. Oh, partisan, carry me away, because I feel death approaching. If I die a partisan, then you must bury me on the mountain, under the shade of a beautiful flower, and all those who shall pass will tell me, what a beautiful flower. This is the flower of a partisan who died for freedom. And it's a good song for right now because it, of course, elicits courage, strength, and hope in a time when darkness is enveloping us all. But it's not just like a martyrdom song. Yes, the protagonist expects death, but the protagonist in the song is confident that the flower of freedom will bloom. And it's almost a certainty in the song. And the one other reference that I'll share about it is that it's been sung widely by Kurds in the last 10 years, especially in northern Syria.
Yep.
And it was especially sung in the wake of Trump's betrayal of them to Erdogan. And it was sort of remixed to be about, being betrayed by an unreliable ally, basically. And so the song is very much alive today. It was also sung in the wake of the pandemic when Italy was the epicenter all around Europe. People recorded themselves singing, and it went viral on social media to sort of give strength to the Italian people. And so, we've talked before about the way sometimes folk songs, especially in the US from the 60s, are kind of out of step and sort of feel like they're rehashing an old thing that's trying to relive the glory days.
Still
but
beautiful,
song,
but yes.
Still beautiful, but
Yeah,
but often, this I think is an example of a song that constantly is reinvented for its context, where it just still holds so much potency. So if you're a leftist and you travel around the world, the two things you need to do are learn how to play soccer and then learn the lyrics to this song. And that's the song for today, Bella Ciao.
Awesome. I love it.
You just watched a Michael Brooks show video. Subscribe to get them all. Why wouldn't you? Don't be foolish. Click subscribe below and become a patron as well. Patreon.com/TMBS. Thanks, everybody.